In today's video, I want to talk about camera gear and everything related to making travel videos here on YouTube, and camera gear that I wish I had when I first started out that I would love to invest in. So basically, if you ever consider starting your own YouTube channel instead of just watching people like myself and other creators, or maybe you just started your YouTube channel a few months back and haven't really got yourself to upload a video yet because you're not sure what type of camera gear you should buy. And it doesn't really help when every creator has a different opinion and different recommendations of what camera you should buy. And maybe you don't want to spend as much because you're not sure if this whole YouTube thing is something you can stay consistent with. So that's also something to consider. So I've been making videos here on YouTube for about 5 years now, and I think it's first now that I feel that I have the perfect setup, the perfect travel gear, and the gear that I really wish I had 5 years ago. So this video is not going to be a comparison, which you might be used to seeing here on this channel, and it's not going to be a video about what you should and shouldn't buy, but it's going to be a video about my personal experience, thoughts, and favorites after using close to 30 cameras over the past few years. Now, usually everything here in the studio is recorded with my Sony a7S III, which cost me about $5,000 if I do a direct currency swap between US dollars and the Norwegian kroners. And that's a pretty expensive camera. I also had 3 different lenses, which is another $4,000. And all it does is to just sit here when I'm out traveling. But don't get me wrong, this is by far the best camera I've ever had. But if I was starting out today, I would probably spend those $9,000 in a different way and invest in something cheaper, lighter, and more travel friendly, I would say. Which is why the Pocket 3 is the first thing that I would invest in. And if we look away from all the specs, all the reviews, all the testing, and the pros and cons with the Pocket 3 and just look at the camera itself and the actual use, it's one of the best, if not the best, pocket-sized camera out there, and it does everything you need. And one of the things I really love with this is how easy it is to use, even for someone that haven't used the camera before. It's basically flip and record both for vertical and horizontal videos. So if you're considering a camera that can do everything you need, both inside and outside, you know, the Pocket 3 would be my first thing, or something that I wish I had when I first started out, because it is one amazing device. And let's say your YouTube channel is about tech reviews, for example, or camera reviews, which I'm doing here on this channel. The Pocket 3 has this showcase mode, which instantly changes the focus to the nearest object. So when you talk about, let's say, the new ND filters from Freewell, which easily snaps on by magnets, and then you hold the case up in front of the Pocket 3, it will automatically focus on the case, and this thing is fast. So back in the days, you would have to pay a lot just to get this feature, but now you can literally get it for less than $600, including ND filters. And you can put everything in your pocket. But I do recommend getting the creator combo though, if you would consider something like this as your investment, because it has this additional battery grip for longer runtime. And it also comes with the mic too, so you pretty much get a full setup right away with the Pocket 3, the extended battery grip, the wide angle lens, and a tripod, and of course the mic too. So you basically have everything you need to start your YouTube journey, and this has basically it has been a game changer for how I travel. But of course, we gotta talk about image quality. The Pocket 3 has that 1-inch CMOS sensor with an aperture of f2, which both gives you this amazing image quality, both in low light and daylight. And as a resolution, we do have 1080p up to 4K in 60 FPS, as well as 4K 120 FPS slow motion, which is probably my favorite travel feature, along with the 2x digital zoom. And of course, the cinematic tracking features, which takes this to a whole new level compared to any other pocket-sized action camera or camera. And it actually takes pretty decent photos as well, even though it's on the lower end of 9.4 megapixels compared to other cameras that have both 12, 27, and 48 megapixels. Now, if you don't know by now, maybe this is the first time that you're here on this channel, I'm a huge fan of 360 cameras, and the X3 was what I considered the best overall travel camera because of the versatility, endless framing, and you know, that I could give it to anyone basically with no camera experience, and then later I could personally go back and change the framing myself. And despite this person not knowing how to use a 360 camera or being clueless about the camera, I could always make the shot look awesome because it records in 360 degrees. So no matter experience, you can always make your travel videos look awesome with a 360 camera. But now we have the X4, which has basically replaced my X3 because of the improvements in battery life, resolution, and features. And if I were to invest in a new camera right now for my next trip, it would be this one with the invisible dive case. Of course, if you don't plan on snorkeling or diving, you don't need the invisible dive case. But for me, at least 20% of the time is spent underwater when I'm traveling to a tropical destination. And the only way to get good results underwater with a 360 camera is to use a dive case. But I also want to say that I think there's too much unnecessary and irrelevant hate towards the X4 and the image quality. First of all, we all have a choice. You don't have to buy it if you don't like it. So I think it's somewhat unfair for those looking at or maybe considering a 360 camera. Just hear me out. So basically 3 years ago, I was watching this Norwegian YouTuber which was traveling around the world with his girlfriend, and the reason I found this guy was that I needed to do some research on my own on a specific part in Hawaii before our next trip. And I was thinking the same thing when I looked at his 360 footage that you're probably thinking right now. It's not GoPro quality. And it's not meant to be GoPro quality either. But this guy, I think he used the X2 and the X3 for at least 30% of his videos, and it looked awesome. But the quality was also pretty bad considering what I already had. But my wife thought this looked super cool and actually told me to buy one right away to use on our upcoming 6 weeks trip to Hawaii. But I said I don't need it because the quality is not that good. But now, like 2 years later, we have the X4, and I can't travel anywhere without bringing this one. And I can honestly say that if I forgot this one, I would do anything to get my hands on it because it's such an amazing travel camera. Not because of the quality itself, because I have all the cameras for that. I have the Pocket 3, for example, but it's such an amazing camera because of the versatility and that it records everything. And with a little bit of signature spice added to the colors, I mean, it looks really, really good if you ask me. So if I started today, this would be one of the first cameras that I would invest in. But we also have flying cameras, something we also had when I started out for a few years ago, and I think the first one that I had was the DJI Phantom 3 Standard, which was crazy fun. And this is, you know, kind of what started my whole YouTube journey. I picked up a drone, started filming, uploaded to YouTube, and, you know, rest is history. And now 5-6 years later, all these drones have gotten so small and with such good image quality that it might be hard to decide which one you should invest in and not. But if I were to invest in my first travel drone today, it would be the Mini 4 Pro, because it has all the professional features like active track, waypoint missions, and cruise control, D-Log M10-bit, 4K slow motion, and 4K HDR. And even though this might sound overwhelming, it's not said that you actually need to use all the features right away, but as soon as you progress and become a better drone pilot, I can guarantee you that you wish you had more features to make your videos even better, or to make it easier to create your videos, like using waypoints, cruise control, and active track. And I'm just speaking from experience here. So when the Mini 3 Pro launched, which is an amazing drone, one of the first things I said is that I wish it had waypoints, because it would make the drone even better for solo content creators and make it easier to get the more of a professional look rather than that typical looking down at the controller shot. So the Mini 4 Pro is hard to beat, and it's also below 250 grams, which means you'll have less restrictions of where you can fly, and not to mention the low noise level, which just adds to the whole package. It's such a silent drone when you get up there, so there's less chance of people hearing it, which means you won't have these interruption and interactions of people coming over asking you questions like, what are you doing? Is that a drone? Hey, can I try? And stuff like that. And this, trust me, this is something you don't want to have, and something you really want to avoid when you're a drone pilot, because it takes up everything. You lose flight time, maybe you miss the shot, and it's just awful. So these are the 3 devices that I would invest in if I started today. But you also have some accessories, or you might need some accessories in order to use these cameras, like a micro SD card, maybe a power bank to keep everything up and running for whenever you need it, and perhaps some extra batteries and maybe some other essentials as well, like a backpack or a shoulder bag. So for SD cards, I would always go with SanDisk. This is what I've been using for long over 10 years now, and it just works 10 out of 10 times. And here I'm also talking from experience. So there's a lot of different cards out there, but what I recommend is to get a SanDisk Extreme or the Extreme Pro card with at least 256 gigabytes. And you also want it to be marked as U3, like this mark here, and also V30. It may cost you a little bit more, but in my opinion, it's better to invest in some proper SD cards right away, which will last a little bit longer and be more compatible with future products. But I will leave some links to my recommended SD cards down in the description below, so you can check those out. Now for the Pocket 3, I would probably just start with the Creator Combo, because you know, it has everything you need and what you actually need, and then you can later decide whether or not you need any filters, a tripod, or other accessories. But for now, I would just invest in the Creator Combo, and this is what I use mainly. I don't think I have any other accessories that I use with the Pocket 3. Of course, the ND filters for when I film during daylight, but that's about it. Now for the X4, it really depends on how you're gonna use it. Are you gonna use it for traveling only? Do you gonna use it with your motorcycle or for mountain biking? Or are you gonna use it underwater and so on? So this is more individual and more based on your life and how you travel. But if you're mainly gonna use it for traveling, I would probably invest in a longer selfie stick, not necessarily the 3-meter pole, but something like the 114 centimeter one, and also a smaller tripod so you can put this down and do some walk-by shots and stuff like that. And maybe the monkey tail as well, so you can twist it around a branch or something to get, you know, those extra different perspectives, which really makes a difference when you make a travel video. And of course, if you plan on taking this underwater, make sure to grab the invisible dive case, because that is necessary to get the best possible image from this underwater. And on a motorcycle, if that's the only thing you're gonna use it for, I would probably just get the Insta360 motorcycle clamp here, which is fantastic. This is the latest version, and it's so much more versatile than the first generation, because it can twist in a little bit different ways. And you also have this included screw holder here, which allows you to really secure this mount. So this is the one that I've been using a lot lately, so I'll leave a link to that down in the description below. And to carry all of these items with accessories, maybe some water and stuff like that, you would probably need a backpack. But you already have a backpack or a shoulder bag laying around already. So it's not said that it has to be a camera bag, but the camera bag or a camera shoulder bag is more organized inside when you place your equipment. But if I were to invest in a shoulder bag or a camera bag right now, I would probably go with the PGY Tech One Go Air backpack, because it's so comfortable and I think it looks awesome. And if I did shorter hikes with less climbs, or maybe just going down to the beach to shoot some content, I would probably get the PGY Tech Solo V2 shoulder bag, which fits a lot of stuff, especially the 10-liter version. And this is a shoulder bag I've been using for many months now, and it's just fantastic. So yeah, this is the camera gear that I would invest in if I was starting out my channel today in 2024. And with these cameras, you will be able to make all types of videos, not only travel videos. And you would also have something to cover every single aspect of filmmaking, both below and above water. But I'm also curious to know your thoughts on these and your thoughts in general on camera gear. Which gear would you invest in if you started your channel today? Or if you already have a channel up and running, which camera gear did you start out with? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found any value in today's video, let me know by dropping a like, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That would be appreciated as well. And until next time, take care. Bye bye.